Okay everybody, welcome back. Here we are on the Sip jig bore and the block is in position and we're holding this block by the center line of the crank. And what I didn't show you was I indicated the bar in. It's perfect. It's dead zero. The height and the straightness. I centered up the number one bore and I leveled the block. I got some jacks. I got plenty of hold downs on this all over the place. And I'm just playing around with speeds and feeds. Right now I am using an original Sip boring tool. Okay? Let me get you in there. That guy right there, that is an original cutter. And what I'm going to do is make some tooling. I'm going to make this particular tool that goes in here with a carbide insert. I've got cast iron cutting carbide inserts, and I'm going to make that tooling. But that'll be for, you know, another day. But right now we're just, like I say, we're just playing around with feeds and speeds, and I've got number 1 and number 2 finished. I thought the camera was working, but the battery was dead, so that happens to me quite a bit. But 1 and 2, the spacing between 1 and 2 is 3" 4/37. So you can see we're on 0 from the last one we did. So I bored the first one. I moved over 3" 4/37. Spacing between number 2 and number 3 is 4" 9/38. So we're going to move this table over that amount. And because we're grabbing the center line, we know we're boring perfectly perpendicular to the center line. Everything is lined up perfect, and like I say, on a machine like this you can move a hole, you can straighten a hole. We're going to do Travis's block on here because those sleeves were put in a little bit off. I don't know how they did it. Maybe the deck was off. I don't know what happened on Travis's block, but we're going to bore it in here. So we're going to grab it by the center line, and we are going to bore his and get it perfect. So we'll move the table, and we'll try a different speed. I'm going to speed it up just a little bit on this third hole, see what that does. Last 2 holes I was running 0.002 per revolution on the feed, and we'll leave it there right now. I'm not taking super heavy cuts right now until I get the feel for the machine, but we'll get set up and we'll get this guy moved. Okay guys, I think you might be able to hear that transformer running. This machine has multiple taps, has a very large transformer on it. And when a table is locked, the pump and the hydraulics go out, because the table only moves when the hydraulics are running. So if you bump into the handle or something, you can move it as long as the machine's running. So we'll go over here, see if I can squeeze in here between the camera and stuff. We'll go over here, we'll take the lock off the table. You will hear the pump come back on. And we're going to move the table 4" 9/38. And we'll go by hand from here. Okay guys, just getting used to the table and stuff. We'll get that set to 4" 9/38. There we got 4" 9/38. We'll lock the table. Okay, now we'll check the bore. Okay guys, last bore I was running 420 2000s feed. I just kicked this up to 530, and I'm going to keep the 2000s right now. Like I said, I'm just making light passes here and just getting a feel for the machine. So let's fire it up. It'll start up slow and then speed right up. Okay, and we'll get the feed set. Get that going, and we should start cutting any second now. There it goes. Okay, we'll just let that walk through there. But by having the center lines of the bores, we know this is going right back to factory specs here. And you can see we're locked in on our sides. And it's making a beautiful cut in there. With the 2000 speed, we could probably pick it up to 4. But like I said, I'm playing around with it, see what gives the best finish. And we've got 8 inches to go. And I won't bore you by just holding you on here, but I'll come back and show you the finished bore and what the finish looks like. Okay guys, I just want to show you the rigidity of this machine. There is a nickel standing on the block. And no, it's not glued down like some people always think. There she goes. Okay guys, that's the finished bore. I'm going to bring this up by hand, and you'll see that the tool isn't scraping or anything on the sides. There was no heavy pressure on that tool. Comes right up perfectly. It's not cutting on the way up. It made a perfect bore. And there it is. Probably not going to be able to show you the quality of the bore here. Let me try and get in number 2. Okay guys, just trying to get used to this table. We're moving from number 3 to number 4, and that's 3-inch 437. So we'll try and do that right now. And I did check and make sure our digital readout is reading correctly. I've had mechanical indicators everywhere on this machine and tested all these guys out, so I know they're running true. These are Heidenhains, and they're very high quality digital readouts, and I'm super happy that they're working. And we will just dial this into 3-inch 437. Hang in there with me. There it is, and we will lock the table right there. Okay, and that puts us in good shape for that bore. You can see we're right on the money. We're not off any which way. And we'll get going on this. I was pretty happy with the 530 speed. I may try a 4,000th feed. Let's take a look at the feed wheel over there. Hope we can see that. Okay, I was on to, we've got 1, 2, 4, 6, 10, 8, 12, 2.5. So, yeah, I'm gonna try 4 on this. We're gonna switch this guy over to 4 and see what that does for us. Okay, guys, it's turning out to be a good test day here with the Sip. We ran the 6,000 feet on there, and it was a bit too fast. You know, it'd be good for a roughing pass. If I was putting sleeves in or something, I'd rough down with a fast feed and then clean it up. But it was a little fast for a finished pass. So we're learning a lot about the machine today, and I want to show you a little bit about the tooling. Let's see if I can get you zeroed in here. Okay, there's another boring bar there. And I want to take you in and have you look at some of the tooling. Okay, this is the tooling I got with it. Now there's 2 different lengths here, you see, and that's to get, this bar goes from 4 to 6 3/4, I think. But this is the tooling that came with the Sip machine. And it's tool steel. And it's got a 7mm slot here. I'm not sure what that little jog is for. And then they sharpened the bit there. Now, tool steel, it's not terrible on cast iron, but it does wear. I'm going to use some cast iron that's made, not cast iron, some inserts that are made for cast iron. So this is a negative insert, and basically that'll be on there, and that'll be my tool. It's not like I could run down to the Sip store and buy tooling anymore. There's not, you know, anything like that out there. And to buy big sticks of tool steel, that would get expensive. And these guys, hang in there. These guys slip right in here, and they come out at a 45-degree angle from the tool. So they're not too terribly hard to make. I have some material here, some piece of tool steel, and I have it to size. And I think yeah, there we go. So that'll slide in there like that. Hope you can see that okay. And I'll cut that to the length I need, and then I will drill and tap a hole for the carbide insert. And that'll save me, you know, when the insert wears, it's got 6 sides on it, so it'll last a long time. Cast iron is kind of abrasive, but here's another boring head, and that has a completely different size tool in there. Here is a tiny one. Hope you can see that alright. That has an even smaller tool in it. So this one goes from 3/4 to 1 inch. So I have some of that stuff, and it just makes sense for me to make my own tooling. Like I say, cast iron's tough on tools, and you can buy carbide specifically made for cast iron, which I did. And like I say, I've got some milling to do. I've got to make this good to fit and make sure it adjusts all right. And then I'm going to send it out for hardening. And I can just buy a pack of inserts for 50 bucks or something. And I could do a lot of blocks with a whole pack of 10 of these guys, because they each got 6 sides. So that's what I'm doing. When Sip made their machines, depending on what they made, they always had different tooling for different machines. Now this is what they call, that guy right there, and oops, this guy right here, that's what they called a Sip 50. It's not a regular 50 taper. It's made by Sip for their machines only. So it is a specific taper for the spindle. So if anybody out there is sitting on any Sip tooling with the 50 taper, let me know. I know there's probably guys out there, your father, your grandfather, somebody might have worked with a Sip machine. Maybe you got some tooling laying around that you want to sell. Maybe you don't have a machine, but you have a bunch of tooling. Let me know. I'd be a buyer of 50 taper Sip tooling. It is a big machine, and I did get a lot of tooling with it, but there's always more out there, and like I say, I can't just easily go get stuff. So everything I need, I'm going to have to make for this machine. So this block turned out fantastic. I have the dimensions figured out of what I need to set the tool at to bore a certain diameter, and like I say, we're right on line with the center line. You can't get any more accurate. I don't know of anybody on the planet who is rebuilding the Willys L and F heads as accurate as this, but we're adding a whole new dimension to the rebuilds. Once the block is set up, it goes remarkably quick compared to the other little boring bar. I still do have a couple jobs that I'm going to use a little bar for, and as I get more comfortable with this machine, I will switch over completely to this machine. I do want to get my tooling made. I've only got a couple of these long ones and just a handful of these little guys, and once they're gone, I'll be in trouble. So I got to get this material here slotted, milled. I'm going to put these inserts on a 5-degree angle, so because it's a negative insert, so we need some angle there. So I'll have to mill a 5-degree there, and we'll get those built and send them out for hardening. And then I'll feel safe about tearing into blocks one after the other, because I know I'll have the tooling for it. You can see the hold down is fairly simple on these blocks. I used a jack to get the block perfectly level, and it's on the center line. So once it's set up, very, very nice to skip from hole to hole using the factory dimensions, and every block will be bored as it came from the factory. And as we learned on Travis's block with the crooked bores and stuff, anything can happen on previous rebuilds, and it's not like you get, you know, new old stock blocks or anything anymore. This stuff is 50, 60, 70, 80 years old, you know, the stuff I work on. So we need a way to bring it back precisely to factory specs, and my choice was a 40,000 pound Sip jig bore to do that. So it's working perfectly, and I'm super happy the way it's performing. Okay guys, I did a lot of boring today, made a lot of passes, and let's take a look at the bores if we can see them. There's a little bit of oil dripping down that one, but the bores are perfect. Finish is incredible, much better than a portable boring bar. You know, every block has to go in a honing machine, so it doesn't really matter, but this will just make it faster when it goes in there. The finish is extremely nice. It'll only get better once I get the carbide in there, but I'm going to try and hold the camera and show you. Let's see if we can get that in focus. Yeah, it's going to be a bear. Just let me see if I can get set up here. Anyway, what I'm trying to show you is the hole is not even a couple tenths off. Yeah, I can't really get that set up, but I measured top to bottom, and we are perfect at 0 on all the bores. This is super rigid. I mean, look at the size of the spindle, for God's sakes. So we get no deflection, no movement in here. Super happy with that. Like I say, I threw the bore gauge down there, and we're 0 from top to bottom. The bores are coming out extremely nice. It took a little getting used to working with the Sip tool, the graduations and stuff. I made a couple mistakes to begin with, but I think I got that figured out. It was a little tricky getting used to that, but once I got it dialed in, that last hole is much bigger than the other ones, because that's the one I made multiple passes on, and I got everything figured out. So things are going smooth. Like I say, I've got that Hercules to finish up, and I have the boring bar already set up for that. I'm not going to throw that on here. I'll finish that with a portable boring bar, and then I think we're just about ready to start doing blocks on here. I feel comfortable with the tools. I do need to still make some tooling, so I don't know how quick we're going to have an actual block up here, but I'll get on it as fast as I can. I've got some things to finish up, but we'll be back with it in no time. So the machine performed better than I thought. I was hoping it would hold tolerances of 0, and it does. The digital readout is a super good helper, and the blocks aren't too terrible to set up on here. So we're gaining on it, and this is the first of probably many Sip machining operations, and if anybody's interested, I'll continue to take you along on the boring and engine stuff on the Sip. Just let me know in a comment below. It doesn't seem to be too much of a popular video, the Sip machine. I don't know why. I think it's an amazing machine, but don't get too many views on it. But if you like it, let me know, and I will keep moving along with it. So that's all I have for you today, and as always, thanks for watching. Catch you on the next one.